I wanted to come and show you guys today one of the neatest flashlights that I've seen in a pretty long time. Now this thing is insanely neat because what it uses to run, we as catfishermen have a lot of it, and I'm going to tell you more about that in just a second. But a normal flashlight that you would get at the store would be a battery powered one, say that runs off of AAA or AA batteries, and they last for a little bit, but you got to make sure that you have batteries on hand, replacing those batteries to keep those things up and running. The next option they have, something that I have a lot of and I really like, is rechargeable flashlights. So you can make sure that you got them charged up, bring power banks with you to keep them charged, do all that. But it's an extra thing and something that you have to make sure that you have some sort of hookup to where you can hook it up and keep those things charged for the long haul and the duration of your trip. So this thing right here doesn't run off those AA, AAA batteries, nothing like that. It's not rechargeable. So what does it run off of? So basically what this thing uses is it uses water. And I said we as catfishermen have plenty of this. And that's why I think this is the perfect light for us catfishermen, is because all you got to do is dip this thing into the water, this little thing that's inside of it, hold it in the water for like 12 seconds, shake it off, put it in there, and this thing lasts ridiculous amount of time. I actually have no idea on the amount of time that it actually lasts, because I let it set for 8 hours and it was still going like a machine, non-stop runtime. I started looking to see how long this thing actually lasts, and I really couldn't find anybody that had anything that said how this thing will actually last this long, because no one ever found what time it actually just quit working. There was one video where someone had turned it on and come back 24 hours later and this thing was still lit up off of just that one little dip in the water. Now it was a little bit dimmer than it was when it first started 24 hours later, but nonetheless it was still lit up. So, but the thing is, even if this thing does go dim after 24 hours and you still need it for whatever reason, you might be using a light for longer than 24 hours, all you have to do is re-dip this thing into the water and it's back bright as it was when you first put it in. So it's that simple. This thing actually has two features to it, two modes, and that is the flashlight mode, which you guys see here. This is not on. We'll go into a darker spot here in a second and I'll show you guys what the flashlight and what the other feature looks like. But you hold the light like this. This is perfect for if you need to, say, tie a knot or something that you just broke off, or you're using it to cut up some cut bait. Whatever you need, you're going to be able to see right there in front of you with this light. Now the next thing this thing has is actually a lantern mode. You pull this up, it quits shining up through here and it shines out a big beacon for your lantern mode. And because it has a lantern mode, it has a little flip up hook right here on the top end. So you can hang it on a tree limb, hang it wherever you want, and hang it up above you. And you have a lantern mode right out there where we're at fishing. So because this thing uses water to run, it is perfect for us catfishermen because we're always around the water. Now there's a couple things I actually don't like about this light, but because of it runs off water and how handy it is and how long it runs, it outweighs all that. But I will go ahead and go over a couple of those things. So it's a little bit bulky. That's kind of a disadvantage to it. The flashlight mode on it isn't one of those where you're going to be able to shine across a 100-acre field or 100-yard field and be able to see something on the other side. It just doesn't shine that far, and it doesn't shine that wide either. It's just more of like a directly in front of you kind of thing. So like I said, if you're needing to tie off some line where you just broke off, tie a new hook on, leader lines, all that, you're going to be able to do that just fine. You're going to be able to see do your cut back. You're going to be able to see it walking through a trail to get to and from your fishing spot per se. But now the lantern mode is actually way better than the flashlight for some reason on this thing. This thing, say this room that we're in, for instance, I can hang this up here in the room and it's going to light up everything in the room for me. Now it's not going to be like super bright where it's just everything is just, you can pick off a little bug off the ground or something, but you're going to be able to see to walk around. You're going to be able to see to unhook the fish from the line. When you land those fish, you're going to be able to see to retie knots. You're going to be able to see to cut your bait. You're going to be able to see to go move around and do all your stuff and not having to worry about tripping over everything. It's going to light up everything fine enough for you there. So that's really, really handy, on top of it lasting forever, which is freaking cool. But let's go take this thing into the dark room. I'm going to show you what the little piece in here is. This is what you dip in the water and then you shake it off. You think you hold it in the water for 12 seconds, shake it off, put it back in here, and this thing will start working like a champ. So let's go do that now into a darker room. Okay, so I'm letting this thing fill up here. It's kind of full enough now. So basically you take this thing out right here, and now I don't know the correct terms for all this stuff on actually what kind of reaction happens to make all this thing work, but I just know you put it in the water, it somehow reacts with something else in this thingy-majigger here, and it's gonna work. So basically another thing that I wanted to mention real fast is how long this thing actually lasts. So one of these right here will last you up to like 300 hours. So to put that in perspective, I kind of done a little bit of math there, and basically what I would have to do to use up this thing in a year's time, I would have to at least take it out once a week and use it for 6 hours every time I went. So I'm probably not going to do that, so it's going to last me longer than a year. But if I wanted to try to get it to run out in a year, I would have to use it again once a week and for about 6 hours each time. So what you got to do is hold this thing under the water for 12 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So when you do that, it says on the package to shake it vigorously. So pretty much just try to get all that excess water shaken off of it as best that you can. And that might be something that kind of helps it mix up too. I'm not sure, but I just know you need to kind of shake off as much of the water as you can, and then you insert this piece right here down, back into there. And voila, we have light. So let me turn off the lights in here and we'll look and see kind of how this thing looks. So here we go, I'm gonna turn the lights off. It's gonna get dark for just a second. And boom, we can't see anything. This would be like being out there on the lake whenever you don't have a good moon or anything to be able to see. And now I cannot find the button in the dark. Okay, found the button, here we go. So here's the flashlight mode on it. Again, this thing doesn't shine across the 100-acre field, and it's not a wide lit up thing, but for say we needed to see something like that deer right there, we can see it. We could go up, see that other deer. Anything that you're gonna shine it directly on, and we're about 15 feet away from that shower curtain right there. So you're gonna be able to see the stuff. It's gonna be plenty enough to be able to see to tie your knots, cut bait, see in front of you to go to and from a trail from your fishing spots there. You're gonna be able to see plenty good enough like that. But actually, let's look at the lantern mode because that's my favorite part of this thing. Okay, so hanging up the lantern, you guys can see now everything is not like insanely bright. You can't pick out details like I was saying. If you are shining this thing up above you on the trees, you're not going to be able to pick out bugs and everything. But I can see everything around me. I can see the wall, I can see my shirt, I can see my hands really good to be able to tie knots, so I'm going to be able to see to run the line through the eye of the hook. I'm going to be able to tie my knots fine. I'm going to be able to cut up bait if I need to pretty fine. Let's try to turn this over here onto the sink so you guys can see if this is where I was cutting at. I'm going to be able to see to cut up my bait and stuff just fine. So the lantern part, I really like the lantern part. It's super handy. It's way better than the flashlight part of it just because it shines up the area that you're in. Again, you can see to cut with, you can see to tie with. It's really handy for us catfishermen. Speaking of catfish, I'll try to get this guy on camera because he tries to stay hid all the time. For some reason, he's out right now. But this is my little eclipse catfish, or sun catfish they call it. It has little clips on its side. Just a little extra clip for you guys. So I hope that you guys really like the flashlight. Hope that you find it as handy as I do. And if you decide to get one, I actually don't have a link to this, but I found that flashlight at Walmart in the as seen on TV section. Usually the as seen on TV section, the stuff in there isn't really that good, but this thing is really awesome and it's really handy. Especially for us catfishermen who are surrounded by water on all of our trips. So we have unlimited supply of what that thing needs to keep running. So if you guys liked the video, leave a thumbs up, and as always, we will see you in the next video.